I'm joined, though, by Mohammed Al-Kurd. He's a Palestinian writer and correspondent for The Nation. You're very welcome to the programme. I want to talk about what happened yesterday. Over 300 people injured, according to the Palestinians. Around 500 people, they say, have been detained. And I know that your family was involved.
Yeah, I mean, my cousin was one of the many Palestinians who were detained and then handed orders not to return to Al-Aqsa Mosque or the Old City for 15 days. But before that, let's not get off on the wrong foot here. I think one point of context that has been omitted from this report is the fact that Al-Aqsa Mosque alongside Jerusalem is occupied, and that is an internationally recognized fact. The Israeli occupation forces have no business being there, let alone beating people with rubber-coated bullets, batons, tear gas, let alone dictating when and when can't people pray. I mean, that should be the starting point of any reporting on this so-called violence, on this so-called escalation.
Just to put that, as you say, just to put that into some context, I think you're from Sheikh Jarrah, right, which is in East Jerusalem. Tell me about your home in East Jerusalem.
Well, my home is one of the many homes in Jerusalem that are threatened with imminent expulsion at the hands of the Israeli regime, at the hands of the Supreme Court.
But the Israeli government, of course, would point to the violence that we've seen from Palestinians as well recently, and the salvo of rockets that came across the border today. We know that the Hamas leader is in Beirut, Ismail Haniyeh. And we know that that couldn't have been done today without the tacit approval of Hezbollah. So the Israelis would say that the Palestinians bear some responsibility for the security situation in Israel as well.
You know, that is such a predictable question. I could have written it myself, because not only has one of the holiest places been raided twice in a row, not only have 93 Palestinians been killed since the start of the year, not only has the town of Hawara been subjected to a Jewish pogrom, and even if no Palestinians were killed, millions of us continue to live under a brutal regime of apartheid, under a brutal regime of military occupation, both internationally recognized. There are 2 million Palestinians that live besieged in an open-air prison in the Gaza Strip. How much violence is enough violence for people to retaliate? Let me ask you this, Christian. If somebody invaded your home and attacked your family, what would you do? Would you turn the other cheek?
Peter Ricketts, we've been talking earlier in the programme tonight about peace processes in the context of Northern Ireland and what happened in Belfast. When you listen to that and you hear the anger and the recollection of what has happened in the past, it's very difficult to think there can ever be a peace in the Middle East.
Well, yes, peace between Israel and Palestinians, certainly. I mean, we've heard about the Abraham Accords, peace between Israel and some of the Arab states. But in that essential conflict, things have got worse over the 40 years that I've been dealing with it rather than better. And now we are, again, at a very, very high level of tension. We can see there in that testimony how deep the divide is between the communities trying to live together in some fashion in the state of Israel. And now some group or other, Hezbollah or some other extremist group, has fired 34 missiles from Lebanon just at this moment of extremely high tension. That's the largest salvo since 2006, when there was very heavy fighting on the northern frontier. So the situation looks very, very tense indeed.
But the problem is, Victoria, that the international community will focus on Hezbollah and they'll focus on Hamas, and they won't focus on what we've just heard about, the violence towards Palestinians.
Well, and I think that's actually very much the point, echoing Lord Ricketts, that I mean, the Palestinian Authority did not fire these rockets at Israel. Some combination of Hamas and Hezbollah, both of which are Iranian proxies, decided to escalate this on this historic sort of confluence of Ramadan and Passover and Easter, which has given us, very heightened tensions. If Iran wanted to be a productive actor, they would ratchet down tensions during this time, not create this dual attack from both the Gaza Strip and Lebanon. And then tonight we have reports that the Houthi want to get in on the act.
Let me bring you in, Mohammed. You want to respond to that?
Yes, I take massive issue with this framing of this as some kind of religious conflict, as some kind of like civil war between two communities trying to live with each other. There is a population, millions of people that are under the mercy and under the rule and under a military occupation of the other population. That is that is the status quo here. And the escalation does not begin or end with rockets. Living under occupation day in and day out is an escalation. I am so amazed that despite how far removed you are from the matter, despite the clear lack of expertise and experience on Palestine, you somehow seem to possess the same level of entitlement that Balfour possessed when he declared Palestine a home for the Zionists, as if it was his to get.